everybody. There's a reason for the sunshine and sky. There's a reason why I'm feeling so high. Must be the season when that love light's shining all around us. Let that feeling grab you deep inside, that you're reeling where your love can't hide, and go stealing through the moonlit nights with your love. Just let your love flow like a mountain stream. Let your love grow with the smallest of dreams. Let your love show, and you'll know what I mean. Yeah, it's the season. Just let your love fly like a bird on the wing. Let your love bind you to all living things. Let your love shine. You'll know what I mean. Yeah, that's the reason. Yeah, let your love flow like a mountain stream. Let your love grow with the smallest of dreams. Let your love grow. You'll know what I mean. Yeah, that's the reason.
All right. That's Teresa James, everyone. Let's give her some more love in an enthusiastic and loving manner. And so welcome to you in the house. Welcome to you in the, almost said the outhouse, the joining us online. It's great to have you here this morning. My name's Reverend Dr. Michael McMorrow. I'm the senior minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills. We're located in the North San Fernando Valley, and we are a faith community who welcomes all who practice their beliefs in faith and love. You've already heard our musical inspiration for the day, Teresa James. And so now please welcome up to the platform our presider today, the wonderful Andrea Recht. Thank you. Yeah, you can give her some love there. Yeah, nicely done. And those of you joining us online, Tebow, maybe my bonus mom, Eileen, is on there. Be sure to work the chat and tell everybody how wonderful they are. Nothing self-serving there. All right, so let's just start by taking a deep, conscious breath. And release, and in that release, just allow ourselves to surrender to this eternal now moment as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. That fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this morning. So as we light the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. The third candle we light for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the 8th candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the 9th candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the 10th candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, for the space we hold for them here in the sanctuary, within our online community, and of course within our own hearts. And as Andrea lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith. We find this light within our own soul. There is one flame, one light within.
Oh, how grateful I am for this opportunity to consciously recognize this one flame, this one light, this one life that is expressing itself as all life, everywhere present, always, and in all ways. How grateful I am to know that because it is everywhere present, it must be right where I am. So I accept and radiate with joy in this awareness that my life is the life of God. And I know this same absolute truth for each precious soul here today, here and online, here, there, and everywhere. God is life, God is love, and it is everywhere expressing. And it is in this consciousness of oneness, from this place of unification, that I simply bless this morning's service, claiming and accepting and declaring and knowing that it allows us to break free from any old ideas that we may be holding on to, ideas about lack and limitation. We just let those go and surrender to the truth of who and what we are. Blessing Reverend Mike as he steps forward and allows the word of infinite intelligence to speak through and as him. And I claim and accept and know that we are changed by means of this service. So I give thanks for everything that unfolds in such a perfect way. I give thanks for all of it. And I lovingly release this word to law, which only and always says, yes, my beloved, yes, it is so. And in agreement with this word spoken, we simply affirm it by saying together, and so it is. Good morning, beloved community. It's wonderful to see new friends and old friends here that we see periodically, and to have some new visitors with us today. It's wonderful that you're all here. I'm happy to be here. And I'm just admiring these beautiful flowers from this wonderful celebration of life that we had yesterday for one of our longtime church members who crossed over to the other side. And we had a beautiful celebration here yesterday in honor of her. And I was saying earlier that I didn't know Marty that well, although we served on the board together, and I knew her, but not all that well. And I was so touched by all the wonderful things that people came up and spoke about her. And I went into the Sparks Hall where a couple other people were sitting, and I said to Barbara Cherney, who I don't see this morning, I said, well, I sure hope when I die people say such nice things about me. And she said, oh, of course they will, but just in case, write them down. It was a joyous occasion, a joyous day. So I have enjoyed the summer. I work for LA Unified School District 1 more year and then I'm done. But I go back this coming week. Wednesday I go back, and I've had a wonderful time off. I remember thinking at the beginning of summer, wow, I've got 9 weeks off, paid vacation. And then all of a sudden it's like, wow, I'm going back in 3 days. What has happened? But I did have a chance to go up to the Central Coast for a few days to a little sleepy beach surf town called Cayucas that I really love. It's lodged between Morro Bay and Cambria. And I spent a few nights there with my dog and just appreciating the quiet and the beauty and nature and long walks on the beach and double cheeseburgers. And But one afternoon, it was particularly breezy, and I was sitting outside my room, which is right on the beach. It's so lovely. And I was noticing the gulls, the seagulls, and appreciating how they just catch a breeze and just float. And I kept thinking about going with the flow and trusting. And I was wondering if, if I will ever have that level of trust. I like to think that I do. There's a little poster in this ladies' room that says, come to the edge, but it's too high. Oh, come to the edge. Well, but I might fall. Come to the edge. So they came, and he pushed, and they flew. And to have that level of trust. And I was wondering if when the gulls prepare to catch the wind, if they set an intention. And I think they do, because it looked like they were all scavenging. They're looking for crumbs that people may have left on the beach and for fish out in the water. But it's kind of what we get to do, what I get to do every morning, if I choose to, is set an intention. Connect with what I can't ever be disconnected from, but consciously connect with universal mind. Set an intention to have a perfect day, for everything to unfold perfectly, to know that the universe is always conspiring on my behalf for my highest good. And then to release control, embrace trust, practice surrender, and then just soar. Just soar. There's a quote by Ernest Holmes that says, when we learn to trust the universe, we shall be happy and prosperous and well. And for me, that's what this journey is and has been for many years, has been about. To stop trying, stop struggling, begin to be calm, and trust in the higher laws of life. Even though I don't always see them, I know that they're still there. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, and namaste.
Your love is lifting me higher, so much higher than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up, ooh, won't you quench my desire? Oh, I'll be at your side forevermore. 'Cause you know your love, y'all can sing along if you want. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher and higher. I said your love keeps on lifting me higher and higher. I said once I was downhearted. You know disappointment was my closest friend. Ooh, but then you came and it soon departed. Ah, you know it never showed his face again. Yeah, you know your love keeps on lifting me higher, higher and higher. I said your love just keeps on lifting me higher and higher. And I'm so glad I finally found you. You're that one, I found the one in a million love. And when I feel that love around me, I can stand up and face the world. Sing with me, y'all. Know your love keeps on lifting me higher, higher and higher. Yeah, your love keeps lifting me up, keeps on lifting me higher and higher, higher. Yeah, your love keeps on lifting me higher and higher. Yeah, your love just keeps on lifting me higher and higher.
Teresa Brown, James, Teresa James. That was lovely. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you so much.
Oh.
Your love, God's love, keeps lifting me higher and higher. So, announcements. I have some announcements for you today. Sunday, August 10th, practitioners are available today to pray with you. If you'd like to anchor something more deeply in prayer, if you'd like to release something, if there's a practitioner in the house, please raise your hand. Yep, there's a few of us here today, so hit us up. We'd love to pray with you. You can also find a licensed practitioner online at cslgh.org. August 13th at 7 o'clock is our Taze meditation, facilitated by our own Kitty Hack, Catherine Hack, licensed practitioner. Love donations are accepted, and that's this Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Reverend Maureen is starting a class on writing for pleasure and profit, starting August 16th on Saturdays from 11 a.m. till 1:30 p.m. It's 4 weeks, and the cost is $100. And there are a few spaces left. There's a flyer and a sign-up sheet in Sparks Hall. And you can also contact Danny, our office administrator in the church office before class starts. We have a gratitude box that we invite you to place something into the box that you're grateful for, and every week we have somebody read it to us. This is the lady who told me, yeah, write stuff down that you want them to say at your memorial, just to make sure they say it.
Did I say that? Okay, so I picked this out, and it says, grateful for breath.
Breath.
Yes, we all need breath.
Grateful for the breath. Yes. So now we are going to stand if you are able to, and we will recite our Declaration of Principles. This is what we believe. We believe in one universal spirit manifesting through all, natural and incarnated in us. We believe that the universal spirit is personal to and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe that our faith operates upon a law of mind which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life and in the immortality of the individual soul forever expanding. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the givingness of life to all.
All right, please join me in singing. This is a new song, so it's really easy though. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give up my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge.
Let's two-step around this.
Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now.
All right. So, well, while you're up, so we live stream this.
What?
Do you mind having your face on the live stream?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so because we have some young adults here, this was one of our first young adults when we had the young adult service. Scotty Donahue is his name. Remember Scotty? Yes, he's a grown man now. So for those of you young adults in the room who want to know what the good old days of young adult were like, here's your opportunity. Yeah. So. Yes, and his mother, Meg, some of you may remember, was a practitioner here. Yeah. So I, too, want to say thank you to everyone who showed up yesterday to help celebrate the life of our beloved friend, Marty Laff, following her transition earlier this summer. And so you'll be enjoying some of the fruits of her send-off yesterday. We have some refreshments out there, thanks to Howard and family. And one of the ways that we can support spiritual community is to simply suit up and show up for events like this one. And that's true for any time you attend services here. you may not realize it, but you're simply being here. Simply being here may be the one thing that someone takes away from here who really needed it. And you know, that goes for our first-time visitors as well. It may be the one thing that lifts someone's heart that day. Because not all of us come here with our hearts full, but hopefully some part of the service leaves us feeling at least lifted. Even if you can't really define what lifting is. I also want to acknowledge those who didn't just simply show up yesterday, but show up to serve. Not just yesterday, but anytime, anyone who has a service commitment here. You know, being of service lifts the heart twice. You know, once in the serving, and then again in the satisfaction of being served through the gift of service. So if nothing else, when we serve, we're not concerned with our own egoic needs in the moment. We are relieved of the bondage of self, at least momentarily. So thank you to everyone who participated yesterday in the setup, so that Andrea Recht had a big part in that, leading that, and certainly Beverly Scott on the cleanup, but also Nancy, Wayne McDonald, Barbara Cherney, and Wayne Moore for moral support on the cleanup yesterday. They were the last ones out the door yesterday. So I appreciate that. And so then what does serving a memorial service have to do with Love Ascends? So here's a nice, there's the imagery of going up the mountain is always kind of a spiritual idea. If you don't recognize this is Mount Whitney. Or if no one's ever been to Lone Pine and drove, even if you just drive up the Whitney Portal Road, it's an amazing spot in the state, and always fills me with awe anytime I'm up there. So what does service to others in any realm have to do with Love Ascends? When the Buddhist teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh, who we're featuring this month, he says this, that I vow, he starts his day out by saying, he started his day out, I vow to bring joy to one person in the morning and relieve suffering in the afternoon. When he's in this way, he's teaching us how to consciously align with the idea that love is not just a feeling, but rather it's also the guiding energy of the universe. That all of us are propelled by a universal impulse of love. This, quote, underscores a dominant teaching of Thich Nhat Hanh in that joy, happiness, equanimity are not states to be attained, but rather to be cultivated and more fully realized. That these states are already inherent within us. It's the mental fog of the human condition that gets in the way of being more fully realized. Holmes might say that love points the way and the law makes the way possible. Well, might not say it, he did say that. Love points the way and the law makes the way possible. So this means that, like Thich Nhat Hanh, Holmes reminds us that love is not just a feeling, it is the guiding energy of the universe. So we are creators. We are creators, not by accident, but by design. And every act of love, no matter how small or large, is a creative act that echoes, reverberates, ripples through a law of mind, and returns to us, often multiplied and multiplied abundantly. Now, this notion of being creators, at least in my experience and watching others over the years, this notion of being creators has to be realized. That we can, if you have a gift of, painting or writing or being a musician. You know, those are kind of the easy ways of seeing ourselves as a creator. But the truth is that every one of us is creating our life moment by moment, right? It's just, are we doing it consciously or not? Are we just allowing the default thinking that's been downloaded into us with or without our power of reason, with or without our permission even, right? The, I'm trying to think of Don Miguel Ruiz talks about the domestication of the mind, right? That stuff that's been downloaded into us. So this notion of being creators, it has to be realized. Now, that doesn't mean that if it's not, that there's something wrong with us. You know, this stuff, this has been the human condition. Humans have been pondering this notion since ancient times, right? That the strategy, if you will, for humans to get what they need or want was, they believed that prosperity could be gained by appeasing the gods through devotion or ritual, through prayer or offerings. You know, humans then would get what they needed from the cosmic, benevolent king, benevolent emperor. And this was the model that religious thinking followed as well, right? The great czar of the universe, if you will. And for thousands of years, perhaps tens of thousands of years, man stood in both awe and in trepidation, subject to the slings and arrow of fate and fortune, subject to whatever the gods, flippant ideas. Well, I'll make, you're going to be okay today. You, buddy, I'm sorry. Right? Exactly. And sometimes it seems like it works that way when we look out into the world and we see, why are they getting this stuff? And I, your faithful servant, am getting jack. Well, Holmes looked at that and, with curiosity and came up with his own ideas. But, even in the old way of thinking, this idea of a benevolent ruler and the idea of coming at it with both, awe and fear, awe and trepidation. Even within that, there are moments of ecstasy, right? As man became, discovered writing and started, we have many examples 14th, 15th century on up, right? This is when we started actually writing things. People had experiences and were able to write them down. Julian of Norwich, Teresa of Avila, Brother Lawrence, and other Christian mystics, because we're in the West, these are the ones that we're familiar with, right? So there were these moments of ecstasy even within that model. Right? That model that focused more on fear than on empowerment. Right? Fear, like the Augustine model of original sin. Now, if you place him in his time, there was a lot of wickedness in the world. The world was it really was a dog-eat-dog place, or human-eat-human, maybe not cannibalistic, but they were constantly warring with each other. That's part of our history. And so how to square the base animalistic urges of the human psyche. And since they are so freely expressed, it must be part of who we are. And then in time, finally, we got to the Enlightenment, which took thousands of years to get to. And we start looking at the world differently. In time, we came to consider this notion that we are made in the image and likeness of God, and to consider the idea that the Spirit of the Lord is within, well, what does that really mean? If I'm made in the image and likeness of God, so I can't be all that God is, but certainly some of that God stuff is in me. So how to honor that? So then as we explore more of that, then it follows that humans then are much more directly connected to the Spirit than we realize. That these ideas, of course, in the East, in Indian philosophy, they were aware of this, thousands of years ago. But the West didn't learn about these things until maybe the 19th, and certainly not widely known until the 20th century, through George Harrison. No. Actually, that's only partially a joke, right? So, how to integrate this idea of oneness? I am one with the universe. I am one with this cosmic universe. How to do that? Well, an awakening must take place. We must be shaken out of the dream of the status quo to awaken to a new way of being. And even before that, there has to be a willingness to do that. Now, it would be great if this happened through inspiration, where we just wake up one day and, I want to feel more spiritually connected to the world. But that's not usually the way it happens. Usually we get the wacko, right? Or we're stuck in struggle and we're just like, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. Right? We have to almost be, the ego really, I think, has to be beaten into submission or make, not submission, but into some kind of surrender to where a notion comes to our mind that says, maybe there's another way. Maybe there's another way. And how can I connect this sense of awe that I feel at moments in life? How can I bring that in here? Or how can I bring it in here? And is it possible to connect the two? So we have to be shaken out of the dream of the status quo, awaken to a new way of being, and allow ourselves to have this spiritual experience and to shift and lift our thinking into higher realms of thinking and get the bills paid while doing it. Right? So how to do that? Is there a way to utilize divine power, cosmic power if you like, to support the structure of our life and maintain spiritual growth and balance? Is there a way to integrate this law of cause and effect that we have seen expressing in our outer world in the negative? Is there a way to integrate this law of cause and effect in a positive way, right? To demonstrate good rather than futility. Is there a way to utilize this power to empower and supply our life with health, with wealth, and creative expression and supportive relationships? So the answer is yes. Yes, okay. The emphatic answer is yes. The really emphatic answer is yes. Okay. So from this place of yes, we're making a joke of it, but it needs to have that kind of power behind it, yeah? So from this place of yes, then, not from fear, but from power, we take a little inventory. We look at our thinking. We uncover, discover, and release old thought forms that no longer serve us. Free of judgment, because they did serve us up until the time they did. Some of this thinking is survival thinking. You may not have been able to get this far if you didn't have it initially. Yes? Yeah. Yes. Because some folks do not get a good start. They just don't. And yet, we have to find a way to rise above our old thinking. Even, I have to say, I had a pretty privileged life. My parents weren't drunks. Their marriage stayed intact until they had 35 years in. You know, it could be a bit rough on the Irish side of life. Always look on the Irish side of life. Yeah. But we release the stuff that no longer serves, even as we can acknowledge that it served us up until now. So it's not a judgment thing. It's just a discovery thing. And once we unclutter the mind with this old stuff that we no longer need, then we have room. We have bandwidth then to entertain a new order of thinking where we consciously connect with this infinite creative power, with an infinite field of mind, if you will. Right? The one way that this God can be everywhere present in mind, an energetic that can't be destroyed, only reformulated, an energetic of mind, of love, everywhere present, both impressing and expressing itself in, through, and as all of life. In all of life manifests from the mind of the divine that becomes the thing that it thinks about. And so in some individualized expression, us, the Creator creates. We learn about how to play around with this field of mind, to experiment with this field of mind until we have demonstrations that are effective. In fact, so effective to pierce our cloud of doubt. So effective to pierce that cloud of unknowing, if you will, until what? Until we go, holy shit, this stuff works. And that is the ultimate light bulb that goes off that then allows us to really step into our power, right? So we're no longer doing those little pansy treatments for parking places, no, but for promotions or for life partners or for radiant good health or creative expression, to step into writing for fun and for profit, not to make bucks, but to profit from the gift of our own consciousness. And feel the thrill of creativity. Feel the thrill of expressing love, not with expectation, right? But just to love. Love in friendship. Love of, that flower breaking through the sidewalk that we're noticing now, where before we just step over it. Recognizing the intelligence in an anthill in ways great and small. This produces a shift within us of awe, of gratitude, a sense of cosmic connection, of compassion to our fellows and ourselves. How about that? We have a realization that moves us from the psychological to the spiritual. We have, for a moment at least, moment to moment, for a moment at least, stopped intellectualizing the spiritual and instead experience a spiritualization of the intellect. That we realize that love truly is the propulsive power, and law makes the way possible. Love points the way. The law makes the way possible. So in time, we see that utilizing the law is not simply about demonstrating stuff and things, but not that there's anything wrong with demonstrating stuff and things. If you need stuff and things, demonstrate away. Go for it, really. Go for all the car, all the house, all the love that you can handle. But understand that stuff and things are just the training wheels of what we're doing here. That's to get us comfortable and to build our confidence in using this law. because we can demonstrate stuff. I did it in my business. Business is a great way to demonstrate the law of cause and effect. Why is that? Because there's a bottom line. Right? You're either demonstrating a consciousness of prosperity or, hopefully not, futility. Right? And even if it's only an increase in 3 to 5%, you know what? That's an increase. So we keep working with our prosperity, or we keep working with our consciousness as a business owner. In 5 years, we've increased our business twofold. So, we take off the training wheels. And there's no more highway blues. Can't you hear my motor running? Right? Because we're all rocking down the highway. Woo, yeah. And it really is kind of like that. We begin to shift our whole approach to life. And in time, even the bumps start to even out. It's like we just got a new set of shock absorbers. And in that, we understand that both in Buddhism, actually, and in science of mind, intention matters, as you were talking about earlier. Thich Nhat Hanh invites us with intention to water seeds of joy, just as we in the science of mind plant mental seeds into this field of mind that we were just talking about. So what is our heart's desire, right? Can we think about stuff that we don't want? Is that still our default, or are we thinking about what we are now willing to make welcome? Which has a question underneath it. What am I willing, who am I willing to be, what am I willing to be in order to make this welcome? This thing that I have, courageously spoken my word. Maybe even out loud. Maybe even shared with a friend. We're no longer hiding it in the heart. To water the seeds of joy, of peace, of harmony, serenity, of health, creative expression, connection. Holmes teaches that the thought of love sets in motion a power that eventually manifests. So, when we choose love, speak love, think love, we are gardening the field of our consciousness, and what we nurture, what we pay attention to, grows. Now, the trippy thing about this approach to life is we find that our life then is being intuitively supported. Right? That we find our good kind of presents itself before we even say the word. Now, it takes a while to get there. Right? It takes a while for a seed to grow a plant. It takes a while for a baby to gestate and finally get here. Our thoughts gestate sometimes also within a field that's supporting them naturally, intuitively. And we don't have to think about, once we've placed the seed in the soil, then it's just expectation, expecting our good to pop forth. Watering it once in a while. Not watering it too much. We don't want to overwater it, pay too much attention. Just release it to its natural process. So that in time then we come to see and connect with the notion that there is one life, our life connected to all of life. There is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is our life now. If you're one of those who likes mantras when you meditate, that's a good one. Or you can just, on the in-breath, say, God is. And on the exhale, all there is. So let's take a breath. Because I'm going to stop talking now. your first demonstration of the day. Okay. Oh, thank you. So take a breath and feel the release. And let's ask ourselves today, right? As we're going through the rest of our day, we're going to keep holy the Sabbath as we leave here. Not only with each other in the fellowship hall, but as we leave the place today, who can I make smile? Who can I make smile? What seed of love can I plant right now? Where in my life can I release attachment to things that no longer serve me and instead rest in loving presence? Just staying with the breath for a moment or two longer. What must I release to allow a deeper connection with loving presence that's already there? Feel the joy of simply being. Maybe put your hand over your heart. Allow yourself to feel being love. So take whatever you capture out of that, practice that throughout the day today, and cultivate whatever you can from it. Take that into our work week. And then let's report next week and with each other, see how we did. We'll see you then.
Who knows what tomorrow brings in a world where few hearts survive? All I know is the way I feel. When it's real, I keep it alive. The road is long, and there are mountains in our way, but we climb a step every day. Love lift us up where we belong, where the eagles fly on a mountain high. Love lifts us up where we belong, far from the world below, where the clear winds blow. Some hang on to what used to be, live their life looking behind. But all we have is the here and now. All our lives out there to find. And the road is long, and there are mountains in my way, but we climb the stairs every day. Love lifts us up where we belong, where the eagles fly and the mountain high. Love lifts us up where we belong, far from the world below, where the clear winds blow, and time goes by, no time to cry, just you and I. And love lifts us up where we belong, where the eagles fly on the mountain high. Love lifts us up where we belong, far from the world below, where the clear winds blow. And love lifts us up. Love lifts us up where we belong.
So that was from a movie, right? Remember which one?
Oh, I do.
Officer and a Gentleman. Yeah, it was filmed in my old hometown, Port Townsend, Washington. I know. We used to play soccer on the parade ground. Okay. Come on, Chloe, bring our basket up. So I'll tell you a story about a Port Townsend and a seagull. So there was an old bar there downtown that had a waterfront town, Port Townsend is, and we used to hang out at the Surf Cafe and have a few beers in us, and we would take French fries and you throw them up in the air as far as you can, and the seagulls would come swooping in. And you can actually bet on certain seagulls. So you're handicapping seagulls. Yeah, so a creative, impulsive life at work. Anyway, thanks for the memory. So if you come prepared with an offering gift this morning, just make your way up to the basket as you will. For those of you joining us online, if you can find your way to our PayPal donate button, that'd be great. Let's go.
Spirit gives through me, Spirit receives through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit gives through us, Spirit receives through us, Spirit lives and breathes through us. Oh, Spirit lives and breathes through us.
Oh, thank you. The universe always says, thank you. All right, so let's just take a breath for a moment longer as we recognize that the gifts presented here, or the basket here, represents both the heart of the individual, the receptive heart of this spiritual community. The generous heart of that individual who knows and knows that they know that God is our source, our substance, our supply. And so we as spiritual community accept these gifts from whatever avenue your generosity finds its way to our center, through online giving, through the mail, through the offering here this morning, that we'll just accept as community. We're receiving all of it. As we know together, it goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless not only this spiritual community, but anyone connected to it in any way, including our new visitors. And from this place of gratitude, we extend a blessing upon our community of Granada Hills, our city of Los Angeles, our state of California, our United States of America, all of its churches, temples, mosques, schools, universities, the people who attend them, the people who support them, that we know for our planet as well, that in some crazy cosmic way, the creative impulse of life is creating ways of demonstration that lifts, that in ways great and small, that knowing this and seeing this, the evidence of this love, lifts our hearts. We feel a sense of grace and power that propel us forward in ways of spiritual living that not only lift our own life, shift and lift our own life, but the lives of those around us as well. And that's a good thing. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. So let's give Teresa James some more love one more time. And let's invite Andrea up to pray us out.
You're beautiful. All of you are so beautiful. So I am indeed grateful for this opportunity to once again just turn within and remember that there is a power, a presence, one life of all, and no other power exists outside of the infinite. How grateful I am for this opportunity to know that my life is a divine expression of infinite intelligence, and I know this truth for each of us here. So I just give thanks for everything that has taken place during this service, knowing that what a wonderful way that God has expressed itself by means of this service. Grateful for the opportunity to leave here with the question, how can I serve today, sweet Spirit? Who needs a prayer today, sweet Spirit? Just grateful to know that each of us arrives at our next destination safely, with a full heart, with awe and blessings, and that. So I give thanks for all of it as I lovingly release this word, knowing it is so, and so it is. Amen.
Y'all want to join in a circle? I would love to have you sing with me on this. Do the peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. It's always good. You gotta live a little, take a little, let your poor heart break a little, right? That's the story of, that's the glory